Hey man, where are you going? I kinda gotta take a shit. Break time's in an hour. Hey, if you don't let me go, I'm gonna shit my pants right here in the meeting room. And here's your paycheck. Thanks, but just so you know, every minute of every day I spend in this soul-sucking hellhole, I think of more elaborate ways to quit and tell you to fuck off. I need you to go ahead and come in on Saturday. Yeah, you call me in on Saturday and I will straight up fucking kick you in the balls. What's up guys, it's Frankie here. In this special video, we're gonna be talking about scaling a digital marketing agency, starting from zero, getting to that all important 10K. And I'll tell you, 10K was a very special number for me personally. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate because it meant no more asshole bosses, no more driving in traffic, no more waking up to alarm clocks, and having total freedom and autonomy and knowing I would never have to go back to the real world, which for me has been 20 years being able to do what we want, going to the beach on a Tuesday, doing stuff with my family, and just having a cool life. So I want to show you guys exactly how to do that. And for those of you guys, by the way, who don't know me already, my name is Frankie Finn. Wrote this best-selling book on Amazon over here. I've built 3 of my own digital marketing agencies, up to 100 plus clients. I've helped thousands of people around the world. And in this video, I want to show you guys exactly what you need to get from 0 to 10K. And we're going to talk about some basic math you need to do there, the 4 things you got to get right, and also some of the don'ts, things that I see trip people up time and time again. And if you get stuck in one of those things, it'll just stop you from getting to where you really want to go. So let's get into it right now. All right, guys. So first thing I want to show you guys is a little bit of basic math. One of the beautiful things about this business model, I mean, we're going to talk about pricing in a little bit. For the vast majority of you guys to actually hit 10K per month consistently, it's not really a whole heck of a lot of people that you actually need to say yes. In fact, we actually just did a 90-day challenge where I got asked by so many people, if you were me and you were starting over, what would you do? So I decided to do it, go into a brand new industry where I knew no one, started over, used zero budget to do it, and in 26 days, we're at 15,500, 15.6 actually exactly. And the real magic of that is 6 people. That's all we actually had as actual clients. For the vast majority of you guys to actually hit your numbers, we're talking anywhere from 3 to 8 clients. We're going to get into some of the big stuff, including how to choose which niche to actually offer your stuff to, exactly which problems they'd be willing to pay you to solve, what your core service should be, how to package it, how to price it, and then as well, where to go find the people who will actually pay you for this. So let's get into those details right now. But before we do, I want to tell you there's a couple of don'ts. And I'll tell you by far the biggest mistake that I see people think is they wonder, I wonder what people could pay me for. And they wonder, should I offer this tool? Should I offer that tool? And I'm not saying that that isn't a useful question, but it's not a useful starting question, because a business can fundamentally not be about you. They have to be market driven. And to give you guys an example of this story, my hometown, Windsor, Ontario, Canada, close enough to Detroit to hear the gunshots without being hit. It's all automotive. And because it's all automotive, there are way too many auto body shops. And as a result of that, like most of those places just started because the owner was like, man, I'm sick of working for someone else. I want to start my own thing. But the problem is they start what's called a Me Too business, and then they struggle from every point afterwards, because the truth is the world didn't really need an auto body shop. Now, the flip side of that, I got into an accident with my my girlfriend, and she had a Volkswagen Beetle. And I remember going to the auto body shops, and they all said, actually, we don't work on Volkswagens, and we had to go through this for the insurance process, and they also recommended us to a guy, and that guy was busy enough that he was backed up for a month, and that guy probably had selfish reasons to be in business too, but he also had market-driven reasons. And so I want to show you guys that because the biggest thing is people wonder, either A, they first think about themselves and their tools, or secondly think about, I wonder what people would pay me for, or I wonder which niche would pay me. And here's the truth, there's money in every niche. There's broke lawyers and there's rich lawyers. There are rich e-commerce stores and broke ones. It doesn't really matter what industry you go in. It's a spectrum. There's people with money. So we're going to show you guys how to focus on that. So the first and most important starting place in business is the most fundamental question that you're going to ask. And I believe this is the best starting question to begin with, is who are we going to do this shit for? And I'll tell you, there's really only four main niches, and you're going to choose at least 2 levels deep. So one of those is, by the way, is the old SaaS. Should be an A right there, which stands for software as a service. The second of those is what I would call e-com. Third one of those is what I would call expertise, and this includes all the online coaches and consultants and things like that. And then I'm going to tell you, the last one, which is the one probably the most of you guys, if you can read my chicken scratch handwriting, should probably be in, which is local business. So you're going to pick one of these four, and you're going to specialize in something in it. And so, like with local businesses, you could do, for example, attorneys, and then go one level deeper and go to personal injury lawyers. And if you wanted to go 3 levels deep, go to personal injury lawyers who are spending money on TV. What I suggest is that look at your past experience. You've had real stuff in the workplace. What are you actually interested in? Ideally, choose a business that you're actually going to have some excitement, because you're going to have to put yourself out there. And if in 3 months, or in 6 months, or in 12 months, you're not going to enjoy talking about that stuff, you're going to have a really hard time putting yourself out there. As where for me, like talking about this agency owner stuff, I can't shut up about it. It's a pretty easy niche to then go ahead and like put stuff out there. So what is that thing for you that you feel, either a combination of your life experience will help you, as well as like, hey, I actually find that interesting, because that is actually the most important thing. Again, every niche has a spectrum. So don't think about this like, if I go into the wrong niche, oh, I'm screwed forever because they don't have any money. The truth is, in every niche, there's broke yoga studio owners, and there's yoga studio owners with 175 locations, right? So we don't want to think about, do yoga studio owners have money? We want to choose something that aligns with our experience, as well is something that we would actually enjoy putting ourselves out there. If you nail those 2 things, and you may need a couple of days, by the way, to actually figure this out, but don't take more than a couple of days. Don't be that person who takes 6-12 months to actually make a decision. You can change your mind later. You're not locked into it forever. But if you don't decide on who, nothing else that comes after it will make any sense. Now, the second thing you have to do is research. And research to find out what problems they're actually willing to pay for. And by the way, this cannot come from you. Now, I have another video that walks you through this step by step, but I'm just going to give you the shortcut. Type this magic search into Google. Go to Google and type Reddit. And then you go, what is the hardest part about being a blank? And what goes in that blank is whatever you chose. So what is the hardest part about being a dentist? What is the hardest part about running an e-commerce store? What is the hardest part about a dog grooming business? What is the hardest part about being an attorney, etc.? And what you will find is there are already communities where your people are talking about their problems, and the problems that most of them have get upvoted. So Reddit is a neat little way to sift and sort which are the biggest problems they have. In people's own words, they will tell you exactly the problems that they're willing to pay for. Again, this does not come from you. Remember I said businesses have to be market driven? Why did the Volkswagen thing work? Because people need their Volkswagens fixed, right? So you want to be, ideally, the difference, by the way, between being a Volkswagen auto body shop and an auto body shop is only like a 10-degree shift. So often, all this does is change what you're doing ever so slightly, right? But what happens is you now have reasons to exist. So I can tell you, for example, a lot of businesses struggle with the types of patients, clients, and customers they struggle with. When I look at this up with attorneys, they're sick of the low-value cases and clients who think they know the law better than them. And so when you focus your solution, you say, hey, I'm going to help you to get the types of clients, customers, patients, whatever that you want. All of a sudden, it becomes a more appealing promise than just saying the generic, I'll get you more customers, I'll get you more patients, I'll get you more of those things. Okay? So research, and you should probably spend a good hour to 3 hours, and this is something, by the way, you won't just do one time, is you want to fundamentally, all the pros do this, by the way, it's called active listening. You want to create solutions to problems that they're willing to pay to solve. You can't do that if you don't at least spend some of your time listening to your market. Now, the beautiful thing is, this is not hidden. It's right there out in the open, in the internet. They're already having these conversations. The appropriate answers are already being upvoted. You just have to join those places and listen. In fact, you don't even have to join them. You just have to listen. So, this is the next one is the piece that most people think of first, and it's what are we going to do, right? What sort of service are we going to actually offer? Now, this is actually a bad starting place, because what only makes sense when you understand who you're talking to and what problem. So, like, for example, like I had a mentor years ago say to me, try and write an ad for an athlete. And I found it really hard. Like, I don't know if you guys are listening to that, but I found it like who am I talking to? Am I talking to a figure skater? Or am I talking to a bodybuilder, an Olympic athlete? Am I talking to a wrestler, an American football player? Am I talking to a rugby guy? I didn't really know what to say. But then they said, now I want you to try writing an ad for a left-handed golfer with a slice. And it actually was almost easy. It was like, dear left-handed golfer with a slice. Did you know we're not like righties? Do you know if you're slicing the ball, there's 3 very good reasons for it? And my product will show you exactly how to hit the ball straight every single time. Now, the reason we can do that is because we're clear about who we're talking to and a specific problem that they actually have. So this is what trips people up most often is they think about, I wonder what people would pay me for. I wonder what tool I could use. But once you know who and have some research, the what almost kind of like fills in the blanks based on the problems they have. So for example, I'll give you a real problem. Dentists, for example, hate dealing with low reimbursement kind of insurance patients who complain, my teeth hurt. They hate the dentist. They don't even make any money. And after the cost of overhead, they might as well not even be in business because they don't even make any money off of it, right? Well, if we know a dentist is sick of low reimbursement pay, now we can actually develop a what where we say, I've built a system to bring you what? High value patients, right? This could be cosmetic patients. It could be veneer patients. It could be, the flip side of that, if you're not really sure, you can just ask the dental community, what kind of patients do you wish you had more of? And they'll give you an answer. And there's really only so many things that you're actually going to be able to offer. One of those is SEO. One of those, I should say PPC, which stands for pay-per-click, Google pay-per-click. Another one of those is Facebook ads. Another one of those is going to be web design. And there's a couple other ones. You can have an automated AI bot that helps them to close more of the people on their website. But chances are you're going to be in one of those things. And I'll tell you the easiest way to do this. And I'll have my assistant put a link below, by the way, in the pinned comments below this video, which is we have a list of recommended white label partners. And what that means is that's somebody that for a lower price will allow you to resell their services. And what I would suggest is just whatever price they're charging, double it. So if they charge $2,000 to make a website, sell that same website for $4,000. If they charge $1,000 a month to do SEO, you sell it for $2,000. And what will happen is you really only have to focus on selling. This is a lot easier, by the way, business model to get started than having your own thing. And then what will happen is because you actually have a reliable partner in your corner, people will stay and they will pay you over the long term. So I'm going to put a link to that for you guys below. In fact, I have a whole document that actually is basically like having an AI consult with me. It'll help you go through this process, choose who you should do it for. It'll help you to figure out the research step by step, and then it'll figure out how to sell it. Now, how much should you charge for this? I'm going to make this really, really simple, and I'm going to tell you when you're starting out, charge between $1,500 and $3,000 per month for it. Now, why is that? Why am I telling you guys to charge between $1,500 and $3,000 a month? There's a magic to this. One is, you charge less than that, you're going to actually have a hard time, later when you want to hire some help to actually deliver this, so you don't have to be standing at the computer making the website or doing the SEO or the backlinks, if you're charging too little. But the flip side of that is charge too much, and then what you're going to find is now all of a sudden you're competing with something which is their own cost of hiring an employee. Most average employees in the United States start at $4,000 or $5,000 a month. So as long as you come in below that, it actually doesn't make sense for them to try and do this themselves. It makes more sense to pay you than to try and figure out how to solve this problem. So I think as a starting out price between $1,500 and $3,000 a month is a perfect starting rate. And again, working out the math, say you do $2,500 a month. Well, to hit $10K a month, we're talking you got to get 4 people in an entire industry. Now, the last place is where do you go get them? And I'm going to make this really, really simple, is if you want to sell your stuff, and a lot of people make this overcomplicated, but go where they go already. So if you want to sell to dentists, go where dentists already populate. Now, I have a special video that will walk you through this, but basically what I found is there's 7 different things in your market they're buying already. One of those is expertise. So dentists are already buying courses and consulting and masterminds, and dentists are already buying information. So they're reading a magazine, they're consuming a podcast. There's somebody who wrote a book in the industry. They're also buying software and tools, right? Somebody makes the dental CRM. They also go to live events and conferences. And they also have industry association, the Dental Association of America, the California Dental whatever, right? I don't actually know the specifics in that industry, but these are all just, by the way, available in a Google search. As well, I'm probably forgetting one. They also self-organize into communities, usually on Facebook and LinkedIn. And they also buy from other marketing services. In fact, one of the easiest things you can do, for example, if you want to sell SEO, go to the web designers who don't sell SEO and say, hey, I'd like to add this additional thing to your people. But if you go where they go, I'm going to teach you something in here, what I call the hand raiser. And it's really simple, is a summary of the offer. And this is how you get conversations started. You simply say, in our dentist example, hey, if I could show you how to get, and what should go in these brackets is your outcomes. So in our case, high value cosmetic patients like veneers patients and implant patients for $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month. Would you be interested in learning more about that? It sounds almost amazingly too simple, but when you put that in front of dentists, what you'll find is it's an easy way to find out whether or not the thing you'll sell will buy, because, or people will buy it. Because if nobody puts their hand up and says, I'm interested, and you do that 10 times, well, you need to change that offer, right? So the basics, recapping this process, and I'll tell you what trips people up is most people start right here. They start with themselves. What can I sell? What industry should I do this? What should I fulfill on? But it actually starts with a business first needs to be about somebody, and then about a specific problem that your market is experiencing. And then you can say, what do I have that's available to solve those problems? And then you can systematically go where they go. And if you guys are interested in that, I'll put a link below. I actually have a whole tool, a whole process I just built, which is basically AI will assist you with going through this thing. It'll help you decide on who you're supposed to do this for. It'll assist you with the research, finding out what problems people would pay. It'll assist you with what it is that you should fulfill, as well as recommended providers, whether you want to do that yourself or actually outsource that. And it'll show you how to systematically go where they go and put a little test hand raiser so that people will come to you pre-sold and pre-positioned to buy. So I hope that makes a lot of sense, and I hope that's helpful for those of you guys who are trying to get to that magic 2K or 10K a month, because when you do, not that all your life problems magically get better, but man, life is a lot cooler when you have that freedom and autonomy. You don't depend on the boss man for a paycheck, and you can do whatever you want and live life on your terms, however you want to live it. So appreciate you guys for watching. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to subscribe.
Hey guys, if you like this video, you'll probably also like our free Facebook group, Beyond Agency Profits, Agency Lifestyle Design. You can get free copies of the book inside here. I look ridiculous. We're doing weekly Q&As, giving answers to all your questions. Some of the best, smartest, brightest people. We've got lots of industry leaders doing 7, 8 figures and beyond. It's a literal who's who of the brightest agency owners that I know, as well as lots of tips on scaling and stuff, books that work. So if you're not already part of it, you're going to want to be part of it. So make sure to click the link. I put it in the description of the video as well as in the pinned top comment below. So just scroll down and you can join, and it's totally free.